This is our destiny. We about to lift our community so we can be all around the world. Yeah, we gon' be all around the world. All around the world, going all around the world. Yeah, we gon' be all around the world. All around the world, going all around the world. We building wealth, leaving legacy. This is our destiny. We about to lift our community so we can be all around the world. Yeah, we gon' be all around the world. All around the world, going all around the world. Yeah, we gon' be all around the world. All around the world, going all around the world. We building wealth, leaving legacy.
Good evening and welcome to Know Your Black History with me, Donna Jean, and my guy, John Sanders. How are you, John?
Yes, I am excellent. I am feeling high vibrational, and I'm so proud to be a part of this SOS movement.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, John Sanders, let me tell you something. I had somebody ask me, why are you doing a show on Black history? So it kind of bothered me that they even asked that. My response was, you got to ask that. You need to be listening to every show I do. And you need to be doing your own. Huh? Because without Black history, there's no, people don't understand the significance of us as Blacks and how much we contributed to the building up of everything, because we are the original everything. Africa is the motherland. Okay, so we're gonna say that one more time. It might be a little slow. Africa, the continent of Africa, and I'm trying to get my pointer on right there. Motherland. I didn't even put Africa. I put motherland because that's the motherland. So
absolutely.
Motherland, we all originate from Africa. I don't care what you look like. You can be light skinned, bright skinned, white skinned. We all originated from Africa. Just a little something I thought I'd throw out there because it kind of made me a little upset. So tonight, we're going to talk about the importance of who am I? Why? I'm not talking about me personally, but who am I as a Black person? Who are you as a Black person? And how much we are needed and how much our history needs to be told, because people just don't realize what we are. So take it. Let me calm myself down.
No, look, I'm enjoying the enthusiasm. I'm enjoying the enthusiasm. I'm excited about tonight's topic because we have to establish some foundational truths. People underestimate the power of history. We underestimate the power of, the reason why we underestimate the power of history is because collectively we don't understand what we contributed to the world. Everything that you see, all the systems and processes that we engage in today, more than likely were off the backs of black people. And you have to understand that there was a strategic, methodical, socio-political plot and effort to keep Black people disconnected, right? Now, understand the term disconnected. There was a plot to keep Black people disconnected from our communities, disconnected from our relationships, Black on Black relationships, so that Black people can't come together and procreate with each other, a different conversation, to keep Black people disconnected from conventions that we've created and our history. because they know. And when I talk about I'm talking about the global white supremacist economic structure. They knew that if Black people were connected, were fully integrated, and lived in the realm of us being knowledgeable about what we created and how we were able to contribute to this world from a historical standpoint, we become a force to be reckoned with. See, when you understand your history, you control and dictate your future, right? See, when I understand that from a historical standpoint, me as a Black person, I have thousands of years of African history, legacy of great kings and kingdoms and institutions and civilizations. That came from us. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
I'm connected to that history, I'm empowered as a Black person not to move forward in life, but to achieve greatness, because I know that that greatness runs through my blood rather. So it's important for us to understand history, because history can be and should be used as an instrument to liberate the psychology of our people.
So let's see. Okay.
I know I said a mouthful.
No. I was having some technical issues on my end. I'm sorry. My voice was causing an echo, I think. So
I know it's a lot to process over time. It's a lot to process.
Because guess what? People need to realize that whether it's this show or any other show that is trying to teach you something about your Black history, they need to, if you don't watch it when we're live, at least come back and tune in and look at it at a later time. Show it to your children. Show it so that you can start those conversations, and then you can break the cycles of some of the racial stereotypes that we as Black people have. You know, there's a stigma on the Black family. Why the Black man ain't in the Black woman's house? You said it was designed to separate and divide, because together we are so powerful. Like we talked about the Igbo tribe last week. The 75 people drowned because they had a principle that they were standing by. They were not going to allow themselves to be enslaved.
The Igbos from Nigeria, absolutely.
Yeah.
But see, doesn't this go back to, the reason why people like you are empowered, the SOS family, the reason why we're all empowered is because we have access to this history. You can't tell me that I'm inferior as a Black person. You can't tell me that dark skin is inferior and white skin is superior to dark skin, because we understand what we achieved throughout history. Once you're knowledgeable, like I was saying before, about your achievements, your greatness from a historical standpoint, you control your destiny. Being able to articulate your history accurately puts you in the driver's seat. It's empowerment. You brought up a very strong point. You brought up the Black family, the Black man not being in a household. That's a stereotype. Well, the reality is that's very true. Statistically, 85% of Black households are headed by a single Black woman. My apologies. 75% of Black households are headed by a single Black woman. But before integration policy in the late 1960s, 85% of households were headed by Black men. Right? So you had a Black man, a Black woman, Black woman having Black children in a household, a nucleus household setting. People are curious to know why Black households are so dysfunctional. Why do we have so many single Black mothers? Why do we have so many absent fathers? This isn't just a stereotype. This is very true from a statistical, anthropological standpoint. Very, very true. Well, when you understand history, we're talking about why history is so important. When you study history, you'll understand that not only were there policies, government policies, and legislation that was passed that worked in our favor, there are also systems and structures and strategic, methodical, political. There's a lot of political warfare going on at that time that contributed to the breakdown of the Black family. Because we understand history, now I have a proper context as to why the Black family is in the condition that it's in. Why do so many of our people live in the hood? Why are we at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder? Why does 95% of our why are 95% of our dollars being spent outside of Black communities? Why are we spending all of our money with same white institutions that have oppressed us? If you understand history, you then are able to properly contextualize these issues so that you can create a solution-based strategy.
Yes.
We can't create strategies if you don't understand the root of the issue. Understanding history will clearly show you the root of the problem and how these problems have manifested itself today. Getting tongue-tied here.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, I was just like livid for the person even asking me that, which, that told me a lot of them. But anyway, because I said another thing on a Friday night at 7:00. I don't know about you, but I could be doing lots of other things. But I prefer to come here and do the show to try to help educate our people on our history, because I'm going to put something up that I found to be sad. This was a quiz, a civil rights quiz that was taught in school. First of all, there are only 8 questions, 8 to 10 questions on this quiz. This one has 8 on it. Mm-hmm. So if that's all the history that our children are being taught in school, they don't know their Black history.
Mm-hmm. Very true. That's very true. And because our educational institutions, our schools, our educational facilities are all controlled and dominated by the white supremacist economic structure, right?
Exactly.
They tell us our
history. This is another one.
Right?
This is another one. This one says test your knowledge. So if those are only bullet points on these, and I just pulled these off of Google. I just Googled it, and these are some things that popped up. Yeah, everybody knows about Rosa Parks. I'm sure everybody knows about Martin Luther King. If you don't actually know about him, you've heard about him. Everyone knows about, well, I just had somebody tell me the other day that they just realized that
Washington.
Huh? Say that again.
Well, I was saying we all know Booker T. Washington. You brought up a great point. We all know Rosa Parks and MLK and those figures.
They said they just found out a few days last week that the traffic light was invented by a Black person, and they couldn't figure out the colors were the colors that the traffic light. Those are the same colors as the Black history.
Interesting.
The red, the green,
the
and the
black. The red, yellow, green.
Wow. Takes you right on back again to the motherland. So,
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying by no means that I know a lot of Black history myself, because I know what was taught to me, coming up as a child up in the South. So I was around a lot of like the civil rights movement or whatever. I was raised in the Black Belt, which, just in case you don't know, Sumter County, where I was raised, is the poorest county in the United States. I'm going to say it again.
Oh, wow.
Sumter County, Alabama is the poorest county in the United States. But guess what? Got some of the richest history. Have some of the best people, because I'm from there. So, I'm not bragging on myself, but, there are I'm just saying.
It's okay to brag.
I'm not bragging, but
okay to brag.
we have a lot of history coming out of Sumter County, but the average person right now there in the county, I think the average yearly income is less than $20,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's it's sad, and this is 2020. But because I know the history of my home, I still try to do things to try to help back at home. So this show is trying to help, you know, the people that are still there in Alabama, that are still living in poverty, to help them pull themselves up, you know, just
and to recalibrate the mindset. Like, we have to change the mindset. But this is my interesting. So you are from the poorest county in the United States. These are Black people living in these deplorable conditions. But see, one of the reasons why people like you, people like myself and others, we push the Black agenda. We push Black dollars being spent in Black communities. You know, we talk about circulating the Black dollar, our agenda first, right? Prioritizing our needs. See, the reason why we talk about this is because we know, right? We are in direct alignment with what our people achieved before. See, we didn't know about Black Wall Street 10 years ago. People weren't talking about that. You know, we didn't know about the Black business districts, you know, let alone the inventions. I mean, look, all the stoplight, I mean, the countless inventions that Black people created. We didn't really have access to this knowledge. I mean, we've always had the Black intelligentsia that had access to the information, but we collectively as a community didn't know. Even when I talk to young people in my neighborhood, you know, most young people had never heard of Black Wall Street. So if you don't know, what your people accomplished, what they achieved, what they had to overcome in such a way where now we have opportunities, we're not going to be empowered to do better. Now, here's the thing. I used to work with young people. I used to live back in DC. I launched a Black male leadership program, right? So I was working with some very, very rough young people. And I was a drill sergeant. I didn't play. You know what I'm saying? And I taught these young boys their history. The problem that I had was, from a psychological standpoint, our young people were psychologically programmed to believe that Latinos were hardworking. I'm not saying that they're not, but they were also programmed to believe that the Asian Americans were the smart ones, the white guys were the ones with all the money, and the Black people were the ghetto ratchet, you know, hoodlums just on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Off the hose, you know, all the other terms we like to use in our own circles, right? See, this is how we think. But see, when I start to educate these young people and I start to show them what your people created and how these groups that you praise and elevate, amazing, I celebrate all groups, but within the context of Black history, these groups have benefited off of what Black people created. These groups have been able to build industry. They've been able to create their own institutions, right? They've been able to leverage Black technology, right? Black invention, the spirit of Black ingenuity. That came from you. That came from us. These groups have been able to leverage this, and now they thrive. While we're at the bottom of the ladder. Should we be the ones dominating? Let's take a look at Africa, for example. Why is Africa dominated by the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Arab, all these outside these non-Black groups they're all on the continent of Africa, raping and stealing and recolonizing.
The natural resources, they go in.
Some water, because I'm getting water.
They steal the natural resources from there. They rebrand things and make you think that it's coming from a Black group, but it's not. You know, so
Well, I'm sorry, I'm so hyped right now, but you bring up a valid point. While we show no interest, while black people show no interest. We ain't trying to go to Africa. And even the blacks in Africa are trying to run away from Africa, right? Because we don't understand the power of what we have.
Listen, I'm trying to go to Africa. The only reason we didn't go to Africa this year was because of the coronavirus pandemic shut everything down. We were scheduled to go to Africa in May for 14 days.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait until travel opens back up because I'm ready. My bag, I never unpacked my bag to go to Africa. My bag is ready. I'm gone. I'm going 14 days.
And
I'm going to do what I got to do those 14 days. I'm going to come back. I'm going to pray about it. And I'm going to try to be about it. And I'm going to try to go back again. I want to.
This is amazing.
Yeah. I want to go to Africa. Not that I know a lot about Africa. I'm not saying I know a lot, but I want to go and I want to learn.
Absolutely.
Because the only way you can make a change is if you willing to change. Because I used to always say, I ain't going to Africa. People don't know nothing about me. I was born in New York.
And so that's the masses. The masses of our people have that framework of that mindset of, I don't want to go to Africa. I don't want to live in a black community. I don't want to date a black woman. Hey, I was saying before, when we first started the show, there's an attack on black relationship. When I use the term relationship, I'm talking about black people in relationship to black history, black people in relationship to black community, black people in relationship to black men marrying, procreating, and dating black women, right? Destroying black relationship. So when we say, oh, I don't care about history, I don't want to have anything to do with history. Well, if you don't understand history, what you're doing is you're perpetuating the same plan, the plan, the plot, the scheme, and the spell of white supremacy to keep you disconnected so that you're not educated. So when they come in and tell you a lie, you're going to believe the lie because you don't know truth. You're going to believe whatever they say because you don't know truth.
Yeah.
See, we preach truth.
Exactly.
In these streets.
That's just like I was talking. I was actually talking with Mary earlier today, and she and I were talking. I said, well, you know what, Mary? I said, for sure, is about something that's raunchy, ratchet, messy,
salacious.
This just for me observing like Facebook and Facebook Live and people going live on Facebook and just on their own pages. If it's something messy, trust me, it will get shared to your page. You don't even have to know what's going on because people share it to your page. They go, girl, you know what's going on. It happens. But anything education, even if you just YouTube and look up different educational videos, whether they black, white, whatever. If it's something educational, the numbers are low for the views. Go on TikTok. What's the other one? Snap. You get
Snapchat.
They get likes. Quick. I mean, quick. Nobody wants to be educated, and it's sad. It is so sad. That's why we have a generation of lost children, as that people call them. Oh, this generation, they lost. No, they're not lost. Nobody's taking time to teach them.
Absolutely.
As a teacher, we have so many other things that we have to go along with teaching them. We got to feed them. We got to halfway dress them. We have to attend to so many of their other needs that it's hard to be an educator in this day and time. I just got through talking to 3 other educators earlier, and it's sad that our children, we want them to learn and we want them to know stuff, but we're not taking the time to sit down and have those conversations to say, well, look, this is what I know about Black history. Well, let's do some research. Because I remember having to do research papers in school. I didn't, but I see the importance of all the research papers we had to do with kids growing up. I salute Lewiston High School, Sumter County Training School. Those are the schools I attended in school. But had it not been for having some phenomenal teachers back then, Miss Betty May, Miss Mildred Black, Miss Randolph,
Miss Black.
Yeah, we had all of these teachers. Mr. Black, he was a band director, was married to Miss Black. Mr. Mose Wembley, Miss Rose Wembley. These were our teachers, and they took time and they taught you in such a way that you actually wanted to learn whatever knowledge that they were providing you with. You wanted to learn. That's just from a small town, and knowing they didn't have to do that. They could have went and taught school somewhere else. They could have, but they took the time, and everybody taught Black history in their class, whether they were the English teacher, the math teacher, the science teacher. You learned some Black history because it was so important to them, and most of them had attended a Black HBCU, so they really wanted to know our history. And that's all we're trying to do. You and I, we just trying to give people a little dab of history, 30, 45 minutes at a time. Now,
absolutely. Little bite-sized pieces. Yeah.
On a Friday night, what could you be doing? You could be out chasing girls, whatever. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
I would be out,
I ain't gonna tell you, Pastor. Well, not only are we in history, but we are also providing a context. It's one thing to talk about history from a book standpoint, right? Just, we can all go to Wikipedia, we can all go online and look at history. But when we can properly connect the dots, and when I say connect the dots, I'm gonna give you a prime example. So let's take it back to Africa. So we know how the African continent was colonized, right? Most of us know, y'all should know that, Africa was dominated by the Europeans who came and exploited the continent. Well, when I say providing a contextualized history, if you take a look at what's happening now on the continent of Africa, and how you have this large influx of Chinese that are coming with money and with resources, right? They're coming to the continent to build infrastructure, they're building highways, and they're building hotels and towers. And you also have Black leadership in Africa that are actually facilitating the process. See, when you understand history, someone who really has a revelation of our history can properly connect the dots and say, wait a minute, guys, the same contracts, the same 99-year contracts that the Chinese are getting are the same 99-year contracts the Europeans were getting 50, 60, 70 years ago. I see a parallel here, right? But see, when you don't properly at the context and connect the dots, we're going to repeat history, right? We're constantly repeating history. Look at what happened back in the 1960s. Urban renewal projects. They came into the Black neighborhood with all these white developers. The white developers back in the 1960s offered money. They offered resources, right? They offered, quote unquote, jobs to come in and build up technology industry in these Black neighborhoods. And what happened? Now the Black neighborhoods were wiped out. Now we're all priced out, right? Well, 50, 60 years later, we see the same developers knocking on the door. And what are Black people in Harlem saying? Come on, developer, come on in, white man. You can come on in and redevelop our neighborhoods. And what's happening? Now our neighborhoods are being gentrified. The same thing that happened in history 50 years ago is happening now because we are not properly connecting the dots. I'm making blanket statements. I'm not saying everyone has this mindset, but the reality is he who has no connection to his history has no power. Once we understand ourselves from a historical standpoint, we put ourselves in a driver's seat.
And like I said,
and we make decisions.
Anytime you study Black history, It helps eradicate the racial stereotypes that we have. It helps. Uh, it helps the overall being, just like with everything that's going on right now in the world. It helps with you being educated enough to say, no, that's not what Black people stand for. No, all Black people are not lazy. No, all Black women don't like to be called a thought, a hoe, and you better not call me a bitch. I'm just sorry, but I'm gonna just use there. Don't tell Mary.
Absolutely.
But don't call me a bitch. A bitch is a dog.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what a bitch is, a bitch is a dog. Okay? I'm not a dog. My mother and father gave birth to all of this glorious, fine Black girl. But a dog, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, and you really hit it on the nail. You know, the reality is we don't understand, and when I say we, I'm speaking to collectively. I understand that there are tons of Black people who don't fit this description. But the reality is, us collectively, we don't understand our value. When you come in contact with history, you come into an alignment of you come into alignment with your value, right? The reason why I know as a Black man I'm powerful is because I know what my people accomplished. I know,
our
contribution.
You as a Black man.
Absolutely. But be defeated because I have access to history. I know that people who came before me were able to overcome. If you look at the Igbo, the Nigerian people, the Igbo Nigerians, and we spoke about this last week, they were willing to take their lives, jump off the ship before they subjected themselves to white supremacy. That spirit of resilience. I'm gonna die for what I believe in. I'm gonna die, for my own internal integrity, right? That comes from a place of pride.
Something that they knew was not right because of the way they were treated on the slave ship coming over. And I'm going to put those pictures back up for the people that did not see that last week, where we were talking about how they were stacked on the slave ships. Rather than the way they were treated on that ship, told them that's how they were going to be treated when they came to the United States or wherever their final destination was going to be. They knew that that's how they be treated. Because if you could treat somebody like that, to transport them, to bring them to work them, they knew that it wasn't going to be better than where they were.
Yeah.
They preferred to walk into the water, drown themselves, rather than subject themselves to being a slave here in the United States, which that to me said a lot about history. That said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't find on this quiz, you won't find anything about the Igbo tribe. You won't find anything about Shaka Zulu. You won't find anything about Alex. You might find a test if a teacher just put a little something about Alex Haley in there. You won't even find anything about Roots and Alex Haley. I mean, because it's just what do we hear? Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Carter G. Woodson, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner. That's about it as far as names that you hear in Black history in school, because those are the names we were taught. Outside of being,
and see, when we become a you keep hitting on the nail. I mean, you bring up so many valuable points, And this is the reason why this is our time to become empowered. It's time for us to take our rightful place, to build our institutions, build our own schools. There's a gentleman out in Chicago. He opened up his own school, his own independent African-centered school, where he's teaching Black history. He's teaching not only Black history in America, but he's teaching these Black kids global Black history, right? So that our young Black kids understand how we not only contributed to America, but we built this world, right? We built institutions that influence the entire the way that all the systems of the world operates, right? That came from us.
Yes.
When we start to reinforce the power of doing for ourselves, we can't rely on the same group that oppressed us to teach us our history. No, the ball's in our court. We have to do this. We have to mobilize young people in our neighborhoods. We have to leverage the platforms that we have, the social media, the Instagram, the Snapchat, all of the platforms that we have access to administer education. We have to use these things as tools,
yes,
to raise the vibration of our people and teach our history.
Yes.
And it starts with us. We have to take responsibility. Parents have to take responsibility. Teach your kids.
So the next time someone asks you, say, well, who am I? Say, I'm the messenger. I'm just a messenger. And I'm on the platform, the SOS show, and I'm just trying to help educate and eradicate and get rid of some of the stereotypes amongst our people. That's
absolutely
a message.
Absolutely.
That's
a very powerful message. Powerful message.
Yeah. So with that being said, John Sanders, I know you probably are ready to get in the streets because, you're over there in Studio B. I won't tell. But I know you're over there in Studio B. And I've had a long day. So I'm about to go have a glass of water.
Water? Okay.
Water. I actually don't drink anymore, so I'm just tootling it out with water and maybe a little Coke every once in a while, a little Coke, which I'm trying to stop drinking the pop too.
Actually go for Zevia. Zevia is a great soda. They have Coke flavor, but Zevia is a healthier version of.
I'm just trying to cut it completely out because I'm trying to just get rid of the sugar because I'm just trying to a little healthier lifestyle.
Absolutely, I'm all about health.
I'm over 25 now, so I'm trying to live a little.
That's right. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
I'm getting close. Somebody made me realize the other day I'm getting closer to 60 than I am to 50. So with that being said, I know this black don't crack though.
It does not. I'm telling you, it don't crack one bit. You also you can also do green smoothies. Get organic vegetables, put them in a blender, and drink them every day.
I do. I've actually been doing smoothies for a while, but I'm just trying to incorporate and take out some more of the bad things that I had been ingesting. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that being said, John Sanders, I'm going to let you get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to see you guys when I see you next Friday here on Friday. I see me tomorrow.
That's the West Show.
So with one thing I do want to say before I get off the show tonight, we want to send out some prayers to all the people that are experiencing the hurricane there in Texas and Louisiana and all the parts of the South that are being affected. We're praying for you from the SOS show, from myself, John Sanders. You're in our thoughts and prayers. We hope that you all are being safe. Hope that you were able to evacuate and everything. So, because I'm from the South, so that's just something that always touches me when there's bad weather. So with that being said, I want everyone to have a good night. Do you have anything to say, John, before we close the show?
Absolutely, and prayers go out to the young brother that got shot 7 times out in Milwaukee. I think it was Racine, Wisconsin. What's his name again, brother? Yeah. I mean, just such a horrific tragedy. My heart's
we got to pray for him, his family, his children, because they've taken him. He's paralyzed, I understand, from the waist down. So now he can't run and play with his kids anymore. And for the lives of the young people that lost life here in Pontiac a couple of nights ago, praying for all those families as well. And anywhere else that you might be and something tragic has touched your family, we at the SOS show, we really, when I say it's from the bottom of my heart, I'm quite sure it's from the bottom of Don's heart, but my heart goes out to you because to lose a loved one to a tragedy such as gun violence or whatever, let's just stop, put the guns down. Stop and put the guns down. Think about it before you be about it, because you affect so many people with the violence and the choices that you make. Said John Sanders, I will see you next week.
I'm gonna miss you all. It's gonna be a whole week before I see you all again. Oh my God, I'm about to cry.
SOS.